In the unpredictable dance between nature and humanity, sometimes the rhythm turns perilous, and the stage becomes a scene of unforeseen tragedy. Across the globe, amidst the beauty of the wild, lurk hidden dangers that have claimed the lives of the famous and adventurous. From the depths of the ocean to the heart of the savannah, these stories unfold where a moment's awe can turn into a lifetime of cautionary tales. Nature's untamed spirit, in its raw and fearsome glory, has written narratives that echo with both horror and solemn respect for the wild. It was a serene Australia Day weekend in 1963, a time for relaxation and joy. Sydney's Sugarloaf Bay, a picturesque spot in Middle Harbour, was basking in the summer glory, its waters inviting and calm. Families and friends were scattered around, savoring the holiday vibes. Among them was Marcia Hathaway, a 32-year-old Sydney actress with a promising career, known for her radiance and the roles she played on stage and screen. Marcia, her fiancé Frederick Knight, and friends had chosen this idyllic location for a picnic, a day to celebrate their recent engagement and enjoy the Australian sun. The group was in high spirits. Laughter and chatter filled the air as they shared stories and plans for the future. Little did they know that their joyful day would turn into a nightmare. In a moment of lighthearted challenge, Marcia's friends dared her to prove she could swim. With a playful smile, she accepted, unaware of the danger lurking beneath the surface. She waded into the water, the coolness a pleasant contrast to the summer heat, moving only knee-deep, close to the shore. Suddenly, a chilling scream pierced the air. Marcia cried out, initially thinking an octopus had trapped her, but the reality was far more terrifying. A bull shark, a silent predator of the deep, had stealthily approached and clamped its jaws onto her right calf. The bay's tranquility was shattered, replaced by a scene of terror. Hearing her screams, Frederick turned to witness a sight he would never forget. A monstrous shark dragged the love of his life into deeper waters. Acting instinctually, he charged into the water, desperate to save her. He found himself in a frantic struggle with the shark, even straddling the beast as he fought to free Marcia from its deadly grip. The water around them turned crimson with blood. Marcia, despite the severe injury and the excruciating pain, remained astonishingly calm. She assured Frederick she was not in pain. Her thoughts were not on herself, but on comforting her fiancé in those harrowing moments. "Don't worry about me, dear. God will look after me," she said, words that would later echo poignantly in the hearts of all who knew her. Nearby boaters rushed to their aid, pulling Marcia out of the water and onto the shore. Sheets were torn from beds to make makeshift tourniquets, an attempt to stem the flow of blood, but the shark had inflicted catastrophic injuries. Marcia's right leg was almost entirely severed, the damage being too severe for any immediate aid to suffice. An ambulance was called, but fate dealt another cruel blow. The vehicle broke down en route, delaying the urgent medical attention Marcia desperately needed. As they waited for a second ambulance, Marcia's condition deteriorated rapidly. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Marcia Hathaway, a vibrant and beloved figure, had succumbed to her injuries. The aftermath of the attack left Sydney in shock. The local newspapers branded the shark as a monster, and the city mourned the loss of a young woman in the prime of her life. Photos from the following days showed crowds gathered around a vehicle displaying a bull shark caught in the area, believed to be the one responsible for the attack. This tragic incident remained etched in the memory of Sydneysiders as a stark reminder of the unpredictability and ferocity of nature. It stood as the only fatal shark attack in Sydney waters for nearly 6 decades, until another tragic event occurred in 2021 in Little Bay. Marcia Hathaway's story is not just a tale of a tragic encounter with one of nature's predators. It's a narrative of how life's moments, both joyous and sad, can intertwine in an instant. It's a reminder of the fragility of life and the courage shown in the face of unimaginable adversity. Her legacy lives on in the memories of those who knew her and in the annals of Sydney's history, a poignant reminder of the day when happiness turned to sorrow in the blink of an eye. On a crisp autumn morning in Cape Breton Highlands National Park, a young singer-songwriter named Taylor Mitchell set out to embrace the wilderness. Known for her soulful voice and profound lyrics, Taylor, at 19, had already begun to make her mark in the Canadian folk music scene. Her heart was full of dreams, and her spirit was as wild and free as the landscapes she loved exploring. Taylor's friends and family knew her as a bright spark, a young woman with an old soul whose passion for music was matched only by her love for nature. She had grown up with melodies in her heart and the great outdoors at her doorstep. Her mother often recounted how Taylor would hum tunes while playing in the garden, even as a little girl. As she wandered along the Skyline Trail, Taylor's thoughts blended anticipation for her upcoming performances with a deep appreciation for the natural beauty around her. The trail was a familiar route she had trekked before, with each step bringing a sense of peace and inspiration. But that day, the tranquility of the park was misleading. Unknown to Taylor, the environment had been quietly changing. The park's coyotes, typically shy creatures, had grown bold due to unusual circumstances. A recent scarcity of their regular prey had led them to adapt in unforeseen ways. These animals had begun hunting larger creatures, even moose, an extraordinary behavior for their species. Stanley Garrett, a researcher studying these coyotes, would later suggest that this prey switching had altered their natural behavior. No longer the timid scavengers of the woods, these coyotes had learned to confront and take down formidable opponents. As Taylor meandered along the trail, lost in her thoughts and the music playing in her head, a pack of these altered coyotes lurked nearby. In a tragic twist of fate, their paths crossed. The coyotes attacked, perhaps mistaking her for another animal or driven by a newfound predatory confidence. Taylor's scream shattered the serenity of the forest, a stark, chilling sound that seemed out of place in such peaceful surroundings. Hikers nearby rushed to her aid, their hearts pounding with fear and shock. Calls were made to emergency services, and soon the sound of sirens pierced the air, disrupting the natural chorus of the park. Paramedics found Taylor grievously injured, her body bearing a brutal testament to the attack. Despite their efforts, her wounds were too severe. The young singer, whose life had been a beautiful melody, tragically faded into silence. Taylor Mitchell, a beloved daughter, friend, and artist, succumbed to her injuries, leaving a void that words could not fill. The news of her death sent ripples of sorrow across the country. Fans who had followed her burgeoning career were left heartbroken. Her mother, engulfed in grief, remembered Taylor as a seasoned naturalist who deeply respected all living creatures. She recalled how Taylor, even in her youth, had expressed concern for the welfare of wildlife. In the wake of the attack, the community grappled with a mix of emotions. There was a grief for the loss of a promising young talent and disbelief at the nature of her passing. Faced with this unprecedented incident, the park officials intensified their efforts to monitor wildlife activity. The coyotes involved were located and euthanized, a decision that sparked a bittersweet reaction. Taylor, a nature lover, would have been pained by their fate, yet her friends and family understood the necessity of the action. As brief as it was bright, Taylor Mitchell's life remained a testament to its beauty and unpredictability. Her story, a poignant reminder of the fragile boundary between humanity and the wild, continued to resonate, a melody of love, loss, and the eternal dance between humans and nature. In the heart of San Francisco, a city vibrant with life and stories, the Pacific Avenue Apartments stood unassuming, a dwelling like any other in the bustling area. On a fateful January day in 2001, it was here that the life of Diane Whipple, a cherished lacrosse coach at St. Mary's College, would tragically intertwine with a creature far removed from the urban landscape she called home. Just days shy of her 34th birthday, Diane returned from a grocery run, her arms laden with bags, her mind perhaps on the upcoming celebrations. Known for her athletic prowess and vibrant spirit, she had narrowly missed qualifying for the 1996 Atlanta Olympics in the 800-meter. Her passion for sports had seamlessly transitioned into a coaching career, where she was revered for her innovative techniques and uncanny ability to unite her team, turning them from underdogs to champions. She lived with her longtime partner, Sharon Smith, in an apartment filled with love, laughter, and shared dreams. Diane was the kind of person who lit up a room with her presence. Her energy and enthusiasm were infectious to all who knew her. But there was a shadow looming over her otherwise peaceful life. Diane had confided in Sharon about a terrifying encounter with the neighbor's dog, Bane, a massive Presa Canario known for its muscular build and formidable strength. The incident had left Diane shaken, the memory lingering like a dark cloud. The neighbors, Robert Noel and Marjorie Knoller, were an odd pair, attorneys with lives far from ordinary. They were caretakers for two Presa Canarios, Bane and Hera, owned by a client serving a life sentence. Unbeknownst to many, these dogs were part of a more sinister world, linked to the Aryan Brotherhood and bred for aggression. On that January afternoon, as Diane stepped into the hallway, she was unaware that Bane was loose. In seconds, the hallway turned into a scene of unimaginable horror. The dog, weighing more than Diane herself, attacked with a shocking and deadly ferocity. The neighbors called a 911 was a desperate plea for help, but by the time the police arrived, the scene they encountered was heart-wrenching. Diane lay grievously injured, and the aftermath of the attack was a stark reminder of the savagery that had unfolded. Despite the efforts of the first responders, the injuries were too severe. Diane Whipple, beloved coach, partner, and friend, succumbed to her wounds, leaving a void that words could not fill. The news of her death sent shockwaves through the community. Students and colleagues at St. Mary's College were left reeling, their beacon of inspiration and joy cruelly taken from them. A memorial service was held where Megan Bryan, one of her players, tearfully remembered Diane's impact. She made us a team. We were her creation. Heartbroken and in disbelief, Sharon struggled to accept the loss. The life they had built together, the plans they had made, all lay shattered. The incident raised questions and fears, turning the once peaceful neighborhood into a place of mourning and anger. The bizarre saga of Noel and Knoller unfolded in the public eye, revealing a twisted tale involving criminal connections and strange adult adoption. Their negligent and reckless actions had allowed a deadly creature to roam free. As the legal proceedings began, San Francisco District Attorney Terrence Hallinan and a team of prosecutors, including the ambitious Kimberly Guilfoyle, sought justice for Diane. The trial moved to Los Angeles due to its high-profile nature, unveiling the grim reality of Bane's upbringing and the couple's failure to control their dangerous pets. The conviction of Noel and Knoller brought some closure, but for those who knew and loved Diane, life would never be the same. Sharon's fight for justice, a testament to her love for Diane, set a precedent for same-sex partners in wrongful death suits. Diane's memory lived on in the following years through the scholarship foundation established in her name. Her legacy continued to inspire young athletes, and her story, a tragic reminder of the consequences of human recklessness and the unpredictability of animal behavior, resonated with many. In the echoes of that hallway on Pacific Avenue, the laughter and cheers of a beloved coach and athlete lingered, a haunting reminder of a life taken too soon and a community forever changed by a single tragic encounter. In the vast shimmering expanse of the Great Barrier Reef, a man whose heart beat with nature's wildest creatures embarked on his final underwater adventure. The world-renowned crocodile hunter Steve Irwin dove into the waters with the same fiery passion and zest for life that had made him a beloved figure worldwide. For Steve, the ocean was not just a vast body of water, but a sanctuary where he felt most alive. On that fateful day in September 2006, the sun cast a golden hue over the sea, reflecting the boundless energy of a man who had dedicated his life to wildlife conservation and education. Accompanied by his loyal cameraman, Justin Lyons, Steve set out to capture the wonders of the underwater world for Ocean's Deadliest, a testament to his undying love for the mysterious marine life. Steve's life was a tapestry woven with adventure, love, and an unbreakable bond with the natural world. His wife Terry, his soulmate and partner in conservation, and their children, Bindi and Robert, were the anchors of his life. Together, they shared a deep, unwavering commitment to protecting the creatures Steve so dearly loved. As Steve swam in the clear blue waters, his eyes lit up at the sight of a magnificent stingray. It was a routine shoot, something he had done countless times, yet every encounter with nature held a new thrill for him. Signaling for one last shot, Steve aimed to capture the stingray's graceful departure. But nature, in all its unpredictability, had a different plan. In an instant, the routine shoot turned into a dire situation. The stingray, feeling threatened, lashed out, its barbed tail striking Steve with a force that no one could have anticipated. Justin, witnessing the horror unfold, sprang into action. The crew's frantic race back to shore was a blur of shock, fear, and desperate hope. Steve, gravely injured yet calm, uttered his final words to Justin, a heart-wrenching acceptance of his fate. "I'm dying," he said, his voice a faint whisper amidst the chaos. Those words, spoken with a heartbreaking calmness, marked the end of an era. The news of Steve Irwin's tragic passing sent shockwaves across the globe. The loss was an unimaginable void for Terry, Bindi, and Robert. The man who was their world, hero, and guiding star was gone. The world mourned alongside them, sharing the grief of losing a man who had brought the wonders of the wild into their lives with unmatched enthusiasm and joy. Steve had always believed that the camera must keep rolling no matter what. It was his way of bringing the unfiltered realities of nature to the world. But the footage of his final moments, a tape capturing the last chapter of an extraordinary life, became shrouded in respect for the family's wishes. Steve's friend and director, John Stainton, faced the agonizing decision of viewing the footage. His resolve that it should never be public was a testament to his deep respect for Steve. The tape was handed over to the authorities, and apart from one copy, all were destroyed. That one remaining copy, the silent witness to Steve's final journey, remained hidden, its contents forever guarded. As the years passed, Steve's legacy continued to thrive. Terry, Bindi, and Robert carried on his mission with unwavering dedication. Bindi, blossoming into a passionate wildlife conservationist, and Robert, following in his father's footsteps, ensured that Steve's spirit and message lived on. On the anniversary of his death, the family shared their memories and tributes, each a reflection of the love, laughter, and lessons Steve had imparted. Fans worldwide joined in remembering the crocodile hunter, not just for his tragic end, but for the vibrant life he led. Steve Irwin's story was more than a tale of adventure and tragedy. It was a narrative of love, family, and an unyielding commitment to protecting the natural world. Though tragically cut short, his life was lived to the fullest, leaving behind a legacy that resonated far beyond the television screens. In his family's and fans' hearts, Steve Irwin will be remembered as a hero who lived with courage, laughed with joy, and loved without bounds. Catherine Chappell found her calling in the verdant expanse of South Africa's wilderness. A spirited soul, she was more than just a remarkable visual effects artist known for her work on epic sagas like Game of Thrones. Her Instagram was a kaleidoscope of her adventures, a recent picture with Stephen Fry standing out, showcasing her vibrant life and the connections she made. To her friends and family, she was a dreamer, a doer, and an eternal wanderer, seeking to capture the world's beauty and protect its creatures. Catherine's spirit was as wild and untamed as the landscapes she traversed. She was a storyteller, not just through her visual artistry, but through the life she led. Every journey she embarked on was a quest to bring awareness to the world about the beauty of nature and the threats looming over it. Her latest adventure had brought her to South Africa, a land teeming with wildlife and natural splendor. She was a beacon of light to her family. Her infectious laughter and fearless nature inspired all who knew her. Standing at 5'4", she carried herself in the presence of someone twice her size. Her sister Jennifer would often joke about how Catherine believed she was a 6'4", 250-pound man trapped in a more petite frame. This indomitable spirit drove Catherine to explore the unexplored and challenge the status quo. On that fateful day, June 1, 2015, the sun rose over Johannesburg's Lion Park, casting its golden rays over the sprawling savannah. With her camera in hand, Catherine was ready to embrace another day of adventure. She was there not just as a tourist, but as a guardian of the creatures she was there to see. Her mission was clear: to learn, document, and share these majestic beings' stories with the world. As she ventured into the park, her eyes sparkled with excitement. The lions were a sight to behold with their regal bearing and untamed beauty. Catherine's heart raced as she spotted a lioness lounging in the sun. She rolled down her window, the desire for a closer look driving her actions. Something was mesmerizing about being so close to such a powerful creature, something raw and exhilarating. But in an instant, the serene scene was shattered. The lioness, perhaps sensing a threat or an opportunity, lunged toward the vehicle. Caught off guard, Catherine found herself face to face with the wild. What followed was a blur of roars, screams, and chaos. Pierre Potgieter, the guide, leapt into action, fighting the lioness with all his might, his fists meeting the beast's face in a desperate attempt to save Catherine. The attack was relentless and brutal. Ben Govender, an eyewitness in a nearby car, could only watch in horror. He recalled the lioness retreating, blood dripping from her mouth, only to return with even more ferocity. Catherine's battle for life was a heart-wrenching sight, a clash between human vulnerability and wild instinct. The aftermath of the attack left everyone reeling. Pierre, having suffered a heart attack in the ordeal, was a testament to the intensity of the moment. Catherine's life, full of dreams and passions, was instantly snatched away. The world lost an artist and a spirited soul with so much more to give. Her family, thrown into an abyss of grief, remembered Catherine for her unbridled passion and fearless heart. The memorial service was a flood of tears and laughter. Memories of Catherine were shared with a mix of sorrow and pride. Grayson Hoare, her boyfriend, reminisced about their last conversation, a poignant reminder of the unpredictability of life. In the end, Catherine's journey was a tale of dreams, adventure, and a tragic end. Her life, a vibrant tapestry of passion and courage, continues to inspire those who knew her and those who only knew of her.